Hello, my name is Bong Eat Bong. Today, I'm going to walk you through using Baritone's cell command. This command is very useful for clearing areas, filling areas, and even replacing blocks out, say swapping all the gold blocks in an area for diamond blocks. To start, let's make a selection area. The first way we can do this is by using commands cell1 and cell2 to set positions. As you can see, I've set my first position, second position, and the selection area is now highlighted. Now that we have a selection area, there's quite a lot we can do with it. For example, command cell clear area will begin to remove all blocks from the selected area. Let's say instead of clearing the entire area though, you wanted to swap all the dirt blocks in the area with stone blocks. You could do that as well. In this case, you're going to use cell replace dirt stone. That said, what if instead of just replacing the blocks in the area, you wanted to fill this entire area with stone? You can do this as well. In this case, we're going to use the command cell fill stone. Now, a few things to note about these functionalities. If you encounter an issue where Baritone is unable to break blocks far away from it, you may need to reduce Baritone's block reach distance. To do so, we can use the command block reach distance. Default is 4.5. Usually setting it to 4 will resolve any issues. Another setting of note is build in layers. Here, I'm going to set it to true. If you've seen my previous video on building schematics, you may remember how this setting affects that. Essentially, rather than building a schematic block by block, if you enable build in layers, Baritone will build layer by layer. So it's going to have a very similar effect here. I have this entire chunk highlighted, and I'd like to break it from the top down, layer by layer. Baritone is definitely capable of doing this. You just have to be aware of what you're doing. Now, by default, if you just enable build in layers and you attempt to cell clear area, Baritone will actually try to dig all the way down and try to break its way up layer by layer. This is because it's configured to build by default. It kind of makes sense. However, we can reverse this very easily by using the command layer order true. Now, when I use cell clear area, Baritone will start from the top and it'll work its way down layer by layer through this chunk. Now, there are several different ways you can manipulate your selected areas. I won't be covering them all in this video, but you can use the command help cell for a full list of commands. I do want to briefly touch on how to indicate a target and direction. I used to get quite confused using these commands, so I'll do my best to explain. Let's look at the cell expand command. Now, there are three things we must indicate: a target, direction, and amount of blocks. The three possible targets are all, newest, and oldest, all referring to selection areas you've created. Now, the way you can indicate them are using A, N, and O. In this case, I'm just going to be using A. To indicate directions, we'll be using the cardinal directions and up and down. In that case, north, south, west, east, up, and down. As an example, I'll expand the selection area 5 blocks up. One other very cool thing you can do is use Baritone to build walls for you automatically around the edge of your selection area. To do this, we're going to use cell, walls, and in this case, I'm going to use stone. As you can see, Baritone will begin to build walls. The last thing I'd like to cover is using the click command. While it can be used to navigate, we can also use the click command to highlight a selection area. In this case, I'm going to select a block, click and hold, and drag. And as you can see, I now have a selection area. Simple as that. Thank you for your time. Once again, this has been Bong Eat Bong. I hope to bring you more videos about baritone in the future. Keep in mind there is a full text usage guide that you can access as well. I will put a link to that in the description. And thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening.